when it truly does matter.
That is true, and this kickoff will mean everything. We got Taz absolutely destroying the kickoff. Really, Taz is the new addition to this team. We have, of course, we have King Cran subbing in for D-Chop, I believe. So we'll see how he can fit in with this roster. And now Karki taking the ball, booming it off the backboard. Cesar will have a touch. Actually, beats out Itsuki, who goes for it as well. Karki goes for a shot, and Karki will score off of the poor touch from I think that was Taz, who just couldn't get a lot of height on. He got a lot of height on this ball, but popped it right back down to Clarky, who just shot the ball in an open net. So incredible way to start this game for Team Blue.
Clarkey really starting off strong, getting the first goal on the board, and I can't wait to see how the rest of these teams continue to do tonight. Overall, we're seeing a lot of strong starts from a lot of these different teams, but the one player I really want to look for tonight is Tazaro. He really stepped up against Team Purple and really showed that has the stuff to be at the very top of this league.
Definitely, we saw Taz, I believe 2 weeks ago, he was demonstrating such a higher level mechanics than I'd say his teammates and the other team as well. And he really showed he even though they lost that match, he really showed that how good he is and how picking him up for this season was not a bad pick.
Exactly. However, there's going to be another miss on the backboard there from King Crane, and now Cabbage is going to put the ball right in the back of the net. Very strong play here right off the start from from Team Blue.
And Cabbage, the newly added SSL, got SSL last season. Really expecting a lot of him coming out from this team, and we don't want to see the whole just carry one player carrying this entire team. We want to see all players getting involved. And Cabbage kind of being the facilitator, always being there to set up plays for his team, and being the impact player that his team needs him.
Exactly. Now, what we need to Benji? Now, when we're looking at this team right now, what do we think is going to happen here from Team Green if they want to come back? Because right now, it's just looking like King Crane is not enough to really pull the tide here as a third man for Team Green.
Really seeing we always see this when we have substitutions, which we do have quite a few substitutions every single week. Always see either it's a really magnificent change. We always see that the team will either do really well or not so well. They do really no, I wouldn't say bad, but they just aren't flowing together. And I definitely think we're seeing the latter of those options. We're seeing King Kerr not necessarily find a role within this team. He's usually sitting back, very far back, and we're not seeing him be a very useful teammate on the field.
Exactly, but now we're gonna have to see if these two teams can really do what they need to do best. And one, as we said earlier, we need to see Taz really step up. Cyanide, he's been here before. He's in Team Green. They managed to do what no one thought was possible and really go to the top two teams in Havoc last season. However, now they're playing with the sub, and but however Taz, then we said we were gonna have to step up. We'll put the ball in the back of the net up first.
And Sino with a banger on target, and Itsuki could not get a very good shot, hit on the ball, which he delayed time, but he did not delay enough time. And Cesar with a boomer just hit an open net, and they still got plenty of time to make a comeback in this game.
Exactly, but now we're going to see if these two teams can really step up when it matters most. Can these two teams do more than just put the ball in the back of the net? But it looks like Team Blue pulling a little bit more of a Sam play style where they just want to score more than their opponents.
Exactly, and another shot from Cabbage just booms it, and Clarky tried to get a shot as well, really showing how much confidence they have, even double committing.
Can we see these two teams continue to step up? Right now, that's what we want to continue to see out of these two teams. However, right now, it's going to be up to King Crane to start stepping up. This is his first time ever being in a Havoc match, and he hasn't really done much just yet for his team. But if he gets warmed up and starts getting used to this environment, we might be able to see a lot more come out from these two teams.
Definitely, and we don't need to count them out just yet. This is, of course, the first game, and we see a lot, actually, a double commit coming up from Tazaro and Cyanide. But we usually see the first game is sort of a not necessarily a proving grounds, but a warming up for these teams. Warming up as a player itself, but also warming up as facing each other teams. Always seeing if any playstyles change from the last time they played each other, or if they have never played each other, to see how each other plays and how they can counter them.
Exactly, but now we're going to see if Team Green can really step up. Right now, Team Blue, they're a very mechanical team. They're very consistent. But if Team Green aren't able to start pulling, just starting to stop this tide of an offense that Team Blue is doing here, then Team Green are going to continue to fall apart.
Definitely, and a 5-1 league, definitely a committing. Then I would come to expect this from these teams. Team Blue still as a team on the red part of the leaderboards 1 and 3, I still just expect a lot of them, and I miss from King Cran. He's gonna want that shot back, but I expect a lot from this roster with such a high level of skill as we have Capitus, the SSL. I think third or second SSL player, but third SSL in Havoc. So really, with that title, really carries the weight of his team trying to do good.
Exactly, but now it's going to be up to, again, King Crane. King Cran, he managed to put the ball right in the back of the net. It's going to bring it back within three. However, is it going to be enough before we still have half the game left, Benji? But do you think it's going to be possible for them to come back in this amount of time?
I think we need to see, as you said, Cesaro, but I would like to see King Cran kind of find his place within this roster. If he can find his place, I think this match could be very close than most people expected.
Exactly, but now it's going to be over to Cesaro. He loses the 50 back. It's going to be over to King Cran. Gran ends up leaving it for Cyanide, and then ends up going for himself. It's a little bit of an awkward bounce there. But now Cyanide's going to try and take possession of the field. Here comes Cyanide, ends up losing the 50-50 back over to the offensive side here for Team Blue. That's going to be looking for a demo is Cabbage. Cabbage does not get the touch he necessarily wants. It's going to be over to Itsuki. Itsuki to the backboard. Now over to Clarky. Clarky looks for the double dunk, just isn't able to put it in the back of the net. Very close opportunity there for Team Blue, but King Cran again on the backboard isn't able to get the clear he wants. And Team Blue just trying to waste down the clock, taking possession back to their own side.
Actually, a double miss and the bump coming out from I think it was one of the players, but actually a full team erase. He says Cyanide pops the ball up in a double commit. Itsuki and Clarky, not necessarily knowing which one is going to go for it, and Cyanide with the steal pass from King Cran, and the bump from Cyanide as well, taking out every single player and keeping this game still close with plenty of time left to go.
Here we go. That's what we want to see from Team Green. They do not want to end up losing this match. This is their best opportunity to get a win on the board. But Itsuki, right off the kickoff, is going to put the ball right in the back of the net.
And a kickoff goal is just so demoralizing for these teams. Cabbage, which I think he got a very high rank in ones last season, really showing his kickoff prowess and leading this team to their 6th goal of the game, 2 for each of the players. So a full just team plays and team distribution coming out for these players.
Now it's going to be over to Clarky. Clarky trying to maintain possession here in the defensive half. Cyanide will put it to the backboard. Taz ends up going for the ball too early, and King Cran, as last man back, will end up throwing in a useless challenge, and it's going to be a 4-goal lead. Itsuki getting himself the hat trick, and already minute left on the clock. It's a 10-goal game right now, but it's completely in favor of Team Blue.
And a full team passing play. Love You passes it to Clarky, who passes it to Itsuki, who is mid, and really just showing the chemistry coming out of this team. May have taken a couple of weeks as they are 1-3, but they still are showing that they still are a top-level Havoc team.
One thing we do have to take into consideration for Team Blue is their offense is spectacular. For example, even if we see them go into that promotion relegation tournament, just by offense alone against the more usual lackluster defense from Academy, Team Blue should technically have no fear going in that promotion relegation tournament should they do. But if they want to start pushing out of that promotion relegation spot and really go to the top of Havoc, we're going to have to see them really step up on that defensive end, start playing more as a team. Otherwise, they will never be able to get to where they might want to get in regards to Havoc Esports.
And what I think definitely is what's plaguing this Team Blue roster, and maybe even this Team Green roster, is, I think, at least experience. We know the Cabbage, of course, has been playing in Havoc for a very long time, but Itsuki and Clarky are 2 fairly new players. Clarky, of course, has been playing in Academy, but this is his first time in the main league. And Itsuki, I believe this may be his first time in main league as well. So we'll see if that lack of experience, if Cabbage can really guide his team into this main league. Another goal for King Cran. This game is basically over, but still one to add. And motivation going to the next game.
A really good play here from King Cran. He's starting to warm up. He's starting to show that positionally he can play with the best of the best. The only problems we've seen from him really are on that defensive side. Honestly, Benchy, he reminds me a lot of Team Purple last season, where they were a very, very strong offensive team, but players such as Left Stick just weren't able to keep up with the backboard defense necessary to even sometimes beat teams like Team Red.
Definitely, and maybe the philosophy of the best defense is a good offense could work for these teams, as it definitely has worked in this first game so far, as a 7-4 commanding lead. And this first game really a test of how good the Team Blue offense really is. The very differential scoreline from Team Blue. I think if they can keep that aggression going, and if it keeps going unanswered by Team Green, they of course had a couple of goals, but for the most part they couldn't really find their groove in that entire game. But if they can answer to these goals, especially with that shot there from King Cran, then I think they definitely had a higher chance of winning this game and taking a couple goals and maybe win the series if they can play very well.
King Cran passes the ball up. It's going to be over to Cesaro. Cesaro can't get the shot, though. It's going to be now over to Clarky. Clarky ends up leaving it for Itsuki. Itsuki into the air. Tries to pass it mid to Cabbage. Cabbage now on the Dominus. In my opinion, the best car in the game. Ball bounces mid. Looks like it's going to be now over to Cesaro. Cesaro trying to early challenge Clarky. Clarky isn't able to get back to it. And it's going to be cleared long down the field. And one side note we do have to take here is Clarky and Cesaro were both on the best Academy team last season. They were both on the Academy team that won the Academy playoffs and also almost beat the old Team Green, who were second currently in the standings at that time. So Clarky and Taz do have experience in the main league, but at the same time, they're trying to prove which one of those players ended up getting on the better team.
Definitely a little bit of a rivalry coming out of these players to see who really is not necessarily the better player, but who could get onto the better team. As I think I would think that these players are pretty evenly matched as they come from the same team, and they're struggling a little bit as they both are in the green, or not sorry, the red coming into the main league. And we'll see who can try and break out of it. I don't think necessarily if a win here for Team Green would break them out fully, but it'll be the start and maybe open the floodgates for them to get more wins heading forward.
Exactly, and we saw right when Tazaro got his very first goal, everything started opening up. He was starting to get not just goals, but passes, assists, saves. He really just started waking up into the main league after he finally got it, but now it's going to be up to the rest of Team Green to try and step up, especially Cyanide. He's been very, very quiet since last season. Last season, he came in with D-Chop and really showed his stuff. Brilliant passes, amazing team play, but ever since he started getting on this new team, of course, D-Chop hasn't been playing, but even then, we expect to see a lot more veterancy coming out of the player in Cyanide.
Definitely won't see as many nerves coming out of him. We see a lot of players with their rookie season will see a lot of nerves. See, not necessarily unexpectedness because they haven't proven themselves yet. With players like Lovey, who he has proven himself time and time again that he is a very highly ranked player. So he has no nerves coming out of this. So we'll see which team can really out experience the other team.
Ball's going to get hit now over to Clarky. Clarky now trying to put the ball across. It's going to be taken now once again by Clarky. Clarky into the air. Ends up leaving it for Cabbage. Cabbage is it long off the backboard. Here's where Team Green fell off before. They ended up not getting scored on this time. Still 0-0, but Team Green are scrambling on the back end.
Okay, now going for a hit off the backboard. Cannot get it, but Lovey now flying in the air. Trying to get a read off the backboard. Cesaro now will have time. Tries to boom the ball forward. Still is on the ball. Goes for 50-50. Actually gets it past Clarky. Tries to go for another 50-50 past Itsuki, but Itsuki has time on the ball. Beats one actually with the air dribble. Still has time. Going for the flip reset. Doesn't get the reset though. And the ball played mid. Lovey now flying in there. In the dominance. Going for an air dribble. Has so much time and boost. But cannot get the flip reset. The ball will be missed though by King Cran. And just even back and forth coming out of these teams a lot better than what we saw in game 1.
What I do want to commend Cabbage for right now is how much possession he's taken. Even if he gets in front of the ball, he sees his teammates are out of position. He ends up taking possession and looking for a pass back rather than just leaving the ball for the other team to just get a free possession. And even though Cabbage is a very, very solid player, his teammates are not as high ranked as him, and sometimes they're not there for support. So seeing so much veterancy coming out of Cabbage, rather than just ball chasing everything, just taking possession when need be, it's going to allow Team Blue to hopefully in the future really open up as a high offensive team.
Definitely, he really can provide that aspect that not many players could in Havoc, so a great pickup for this Team Blue squad, and actually a goal, a banger from King Cran, who just caught the defense lacking, a pass mid, and nobody was there for it to receive it, and maybe not necessarily the best pass, as Lovey passed it to, not necessarily to Clarky, who had to either go for that or turn back, and he decides to go for it, and King Cran capitalizes.
This is what we want to see, Benji. Here we go. Once again, right off the bat, we're seeing Team Green this time be the one put the ball in the back of the goal. It's going to be King Crane stepping up for this team, subbing in. Now it's going to be over to Tazaro. Tazaro tries to lose the 50 to his teammate, but no one was supporting. Now it's going to be over to Cyanide. Cyanide ends up not being able to get a touch on the ball. It's going to be now over to King Cran. King Cran ends up leaving it. It's going to be over to Itsuki. Itsuki now into the air. Here comes Cyanide. Cyanide pops it up to the side wall. Now it's going to be back over to Cabbage. Cabbage gets beat out by Tazaro, but Clarky's there, and it's going to be another 50-50 right in the air. It's going to be King Cran last on defense. Sorry, Cyanide last on defense, and it will get cleared away. And Cyanide, the veterancy finally showing out from the man as he manages to get the ball onto the offensive half.
Definitely saved his team there as Cabbage was looking deadly to go for a shot, but now Cabbage in the corner tries to go for another hit. Booms the ball downfield by King Cran. Just trying to delay time. They have 30 seconds left and they will win this game if they cannot score. But Azar goes for another goal. Cannot get the goal to denied by Love You, who tries to go for the ball. Actually opts for the boost. King Cran goes for a pass. Two players up actually, and Cyanide cannot touch the ball. And Clarky has time, goes for the opts for the air play, trying to get a midfield pass to Cabbage. But with 10 seconds left, they have to score now. And with a pinch from Tazaro down the field, trying to just delay time. And Cyanide tries to push the ball mid, but Clarky actually still tries to pop the ball, but Cabbage misses him with that.
If they manage to do that, then hopefully we can see them continue to be a strong standout force in the rest of this game.
Hopefully we'll see that as the pass comes in. Love You now on the ball. Still in the dominance though, not changing off it. Must have some confidence in that car. As now Clarky booms the ball up towards the corner, trying to go for a follow-up touch. Just force the ball mid, but actually blocked by King Cran. What a save from him. Really stepping up. Besides that first game, maybe just took a little bit of time to warm up, but he is playing heads incredible defense and offense coming into the series. And another shot from him, top left corner, and opens the scoring for his team.
As you said earlier, this is a night and day difference here from Team Green, especially King Cran. Tazaro is looking strong, Cyanide is looking better, but King Cran, he's the one who's definitely looked most improved from the first game as he's not missing the ball, and he's starting to put really powerful strikes on net.
Definitely, and you always want that. As we see, accuracy can sometimes plague a team, but it is not plaguing King Crane at all. It took him a little bit of time to warm up, but he is better than most of the players on the field in this series so far.
Now it's going to be over to Clarky. Clarky passes it back to Cabbage. Cabbage now trying to take possession in his own corner. Cabbage into the air, passes it forward. It's going to get over Cyanide, but King Cran will pass it right back down to Taz. Taz is out of boost, though, and Team Blue, off a doink from Cabbage, is going to get some pressure on the board. But here comes Cesaro once again, realizing he can turn up the field early, just trying to apply a little bit of pressure to the offensive end. And it looks like Team Blue are starting to feel the pressure of Team Green, as they're not really able to get more than one shot on target once they get to that offensive half.
Definitely, I think a little bit of the problem with Team Blue is they're reverting back to that carrying mentality where one player can carry the whole team, which you can't do that. As soon as a problem arises, especially with this goal, you can't just always force where you have to try and get a goal as fast as possible. You have to take your time, as they still have plenty of time in this game so far. Not a Taz can score another goal, but just barely hits the post. And they really need to try and use every single player on the field, as I think Team Green is doing very well so far.
Here we go. Now it's going to be a 2v1 situation here. Cabbage versus King Cran, but it's going to be Cyanide. Look at him right there. Mentioned to come in, support his teammate from in front. Very high-level idea there from that team. King Cran, though, wasn't able to get to the pre-flip. Could have been an early goal, but after a demo from Itsuki, it's going to be another chance here for Team Blue. Clarky versus Tazaro, the old teammates. Tazaro goes for the pre-flip, but Clarky just takes his time, and luckily for Team Green, Cyanide is there to get the ball afterwards.
Now it's like you're trying to force the issue. Actually gets a pass back down, but no teammate is there for it. Cyanide with time beats Lovey. Gets the bump on another. Isn't a teammate there for it? No, Cesaro cannot get there in time. But it's still an incredible play from him, trying to force the issue. Now a pass coming in from King Karen to Cyanide, but he isn't there for it. And Clarky tries to take possession of the ball, but Tazar beats him to it. Tries to boom the ball downfield. Still has possession though, and actually gets a 50-50 onto Lovey. They're just trying to burn time. They have so many more shots, and really just have so much more offensive pressure right now, which is not a thing we usually have saying when we see the likes of Team Blue.
Ball's going to get popped out to the side. Now back over to Cyanide. Cyanide to the backboard. It's going to be followed up here now by Cabbage. Cabbage tries to pass down to Clarky, but it's going to be missed from Clarky, and Itsuki's going to have to cover for him. Cyanide looking for bumps on his rotation back, and now he's going to wait for a pass mid. However, this is something I do not like from Cyanide, is he's always ready for the pass. He's not ready to do anything in regards to solo plays. If Tazaro wants to lose a 50-50, or if 50-50 does happen, two people are getting beat. It's not something I like to see out of Team Green, but that's going to be a chance for King Crane, and his striking was not perfect there, and they weren't able to get the ball in the back of the net.
That one really is tough for them. They've really had insurance. They really had so much weight lifted off their shoulders. They don't have to hold on to this one-goal game. They have a two-goal game. But still, even with that whiff, they still are putting on a ton of pressure. Another shot coming in from King Crane, and he cannot get to the ball. King Crane with a second goal, and what I want to highlight is the absolute difference between this now. Team Blue not only held to 0 goals, but 1 shot in this game so far, compared to the 4, sorry, Caster Math, of Team Green. So really just a night and day difference, as I said before.
And something that we do like seeing out of Team Green, they're starting to put their teammates in spots where they can get great shots. However, Clarky, right off the kickoff, is going to put the ball in the back of the net. Off the kickoff here from Itsuki, the ball pops straight up. It looks like Cyanide ended up not getting behind the center or mass of that ball, so it ended up just popping straight up, setting up Clarky for a perfect goal. And it's going to be back within 1. However, Team Green's still going to be happy they got the goalie.
That is what they needed, as they hadn't scored a goal in so long. They finally got that goal, and they're still in this game, even bringing it back to the one goal difference. So they still got plenty of time trying to score. So in a pre-jump coming out of Itsuki, third man committed from Lovey, but he still has time to rotate back. No players pressuring him so far. Now Tazar will pressure him, but he gets beat out. Kinker cannot get a hit. Actually, the net is open if Lovey can get to it, and he does. And a miss from Kinker. That's not what we like to see out of the newly substitute player.
And again, it's King Cran on the defensive end. On offense, he's been positioning really, really well, but it doesn't seem like his smarts are a problem right now. It seems like his mechanics are the main problem right now in regards to Team Green. What do you think that King Cran's going to have to do to try and maximize the amount of opportunities he doesn't have to use his mechanics on defense, Benji?
Definitely try and force himself. Actually, Tazar with another goal beats out Clarky, but force himself in positions that his teammates, who, if they are highly more mechanical than him, then they can go for the ball instead of him. He has to be there basically as a janitor role. He has to do things that are just the dirty work, which we see a lot of players in Havoc that can do that. And once he does that, he won't have to use his mechanics as much.
Yeah, because right now we're seeing him when he's on that defensive half, he's just not able to fly for the touches that he needs to be able to get. However, we can see him do those types of challenges not as the last man back, but as the first man, where he doesn't necessarily have to touch the ball. He just has to force, for example, Cabbage to go into the air. If we can start seeing that, then Tazaro and Cyanide might be able to get some free touches if he manages to force it high.
Maybe he can still, without the without trying to miss the ball. He can still have an impact on the field. As Clarky tries to impact himself on the field, goes for a double touch, and Lovey tries to go for double touch his own. Cannot get the hit touch off the crossbar. And now, that was an incredible shot, but he cannot get it on target. And so much more shots now, 6 shots compared to the one that I was talking about earlier. And Team Green have to try and not buckle under the pressure. And they have to hold on, and they will have the second game in their hands.
Team Green still looking strong. Of course, the only goal that got scored on besides the kickoff goal was just a miss there from King Kran. This time he does get the touch needed. However, Cyanide's going to get beat to the ball. Tazaro, very awkward, ends up flying weirdly off the post, but he might be able to gain possession, and he actually leaves it for King Kran. King Kran pops it right into Cabbage, but Cabbage isn't able to maintain possession. Cyanide beats out Itsuki. Ball to the backboard. Here comes King Kran. He looks for the shot, and that's going to be a goal. King Kran, his striking is sublime, and let's see if we can continue to keep this up.
I don't know what to expect from King Kran. He has been the reason that they've gotten goals and the reason they've been scored on in this game so far. He's whiffed a couple times, but he's made up for it. He has a hat trick in this game by himself. So really, really a risk player. And if he can get his mechanics down, I think he can be a highly skilled player if he does choose to sub him for more games.
Exactly, but now it's going to be over to King Kran once again. He almost missed that one, but he still manages to get back to it just in the nick of time. But now as the clock winds down, as long as Team Blue don't score right here, they still manage to score, but it's at 0 seconds. And Team Green, for the first time in a long time, are now on match point once again.
And so unexpected from Team Green. Maybe the less preparation coming in from Team Blue. Maybe expecting that a team that's 0-5 cannot performances get their first win in Havoc. And a first win in Week 6 definitely isn't ideal, but you got to get started at some time. And this, of course, is split 1, and we still have another split to go. So even if they do bomb out of this split, they still could use this as just performance to go over games and see what they can do better. And it's like he already opens up with a shot on the net. But now it's Cabbage actually in another car. He's X-Devil. I've actually seen him play in this car a couple times, so we'll see if he can do better in this car than Dominus.
Ball back over to Tazaro. Tazaro is able to get back to it. It's going to be a chance here for King Kran. Just wasn't able to put it in between the posts. Now it's going to be over to Clarky. Fakes out the must. He tries to take possession, but he's going to get demoed by Cyanide. Great drive challenge there from Cyanide. Tazaro trying to keep some pressure going, just isn't able to get back to it. And the ball's going to get launched to the other side of the field, where Cyanide will now be tasked to get possession.
Cyanide does possess indeed, but cannot hang on to it for much longer. Clarky now with the ball, tries to go for the backboard, but King Kran does read it and has the ball now, has boost as well, but he gets beat out by Cabbage, who booms the ball. Itsuki tries to go for a shot, but side flips just before hitting it, and Clarky keeps up the offense. And Itsuki trying to go for a free flip, actually, cannot get it though. And the offense, a lot more than what we saw in games 2 and 3 coming out of Team Blue.
Itsuki up for the ball, looks for the beat on King Kran. King Kran does get a touch on it, but it's going to get to Tazaro, who loses the kickoff, loses the ball across to Cyanide. Clarky now looking for a demo, ends up getting a tap on Tazaro, but Tazaro still manages to get a touch on the ball. It's going to be over to Cabbage. Cabbage now looking for the shot on the X-Devil, sets up his teammate, but Itsuki's not able to get the goal. Amazing save there from Cyanide.
And Clarky, sorry, Cabbage showing his mechanics, but cannot finish, and Itsuki also is blocked, so we'll see. They got denied again and again, so really showing that they can deny Cabbage's mechanics, even if he has such good of them. But Itsuki now trying to show his mechanics off, goes for an air dribble, cannot get it though. Clarky picking up where he left off, tries to boom it towards the corner, but Cyanide has possession on the ball. Taking his time on the wall, gets the ball downfield towards mid, but Loveview cuts him off, going for a flip, actually a double touch, tries to pitch it towards mid toward any teammate, but Itsuki gets blocked, and Clarky keeping up the offensive pressure as the third man.
Itsuki with an amazing demo there on Tazaro is going to give Clarky just enough space to be able to maybe do something on the ball. Cyanide loses the 50-50, and Cabbage is able to get to the ball first. There we go, the amazing recovery mechanics from Cabbage. He's not just somebody who can do stuff with the ball. He's able to recover into a position to go right back to it. He's the epitome of a ball chaser. Only people who I would think would be better at that would probably be Pixakar or Avdiel, who probably have the best recovery mechanics in Havoc.
And more shots coming out of Team Blue. An onslaught of pressure. 6 shots. We're not even halfway through this game, but Cyanide tries to make it a shot of his own. Cannot get it in time, though. And now, back on. We're actually on the blue side, finally. And we'll see if they can capitalize. But no, the ball is pinched towards the midfield line. King Kran will get a hit towards the corner, but Loveview has time. Pops up the ball into the air. Goes for another hit. Actually tries to hit it past one, but cannot hit it past one. And a pass into the corner to King Kran, who actually beats out Clarky and trying to drive the ball down the field.
Ball's going to get popped up high. Maybe a chance here for Team Green. Cyanide into the air. Looks like there's a double commit, though, and Taz is going to have to rush back. Tazaro used to be one of the known on Academy Orange as one of the best third men in Academy, but now he's really stepped up and shown to be that he could be the best first man in Academy and in the main league as well. He just takes possession, loses 50-50 to his teammates. He's such a great enabler when it comes to playing on his team.
Exactly, and passing play actually coming out of the likes of Team Blue, and Loveview not involved in the passing play, and it actually allows him to go for the shot. the first shot that he actually puts it in, and after so many shots, they finally get one late into game 4.
And it just looked like their Cyanide. He tried to get a possessive touch. He just couldn't get the touch he needed over to the corner and ended up setting up Cabbage for a brilliant shot. But now with a minute 44 left on the clock, Team Blue do have the lead for the first time, I believe, since game number 1. So let's see if they can manage to keep this lead or if Team Green can scramble to fight back.
And that goal really opens up this team. Now they are the ones playing in front, and all they have to do is delay time, and they will reach the game 5, which a game 5 would be nice. We haven't seen one in a very long time.
However, one thing we do have to consider with Team Blue is even when they have the lead, they're still super, super aggressive, and that might allow Team Green to be able to get the goals they need. That's what ended up happening in game number 1. Even though Team Blue were scoring at pretty much every single chance they got, it was when they went to the defensive end they got scored on once again. But Clarky is going to end up beating out the defense once again. Look at this brilliant air dribble. Pre-flips past one, gets a second touch, past to Zaro. The ball's going to go right back into the empty net, leaving Team Blue with a 2-goal lead.
And now that 2-goal lead is it's so good for them. They have security now. They don't have to play as aggressive. They still want to play aggressive, not to let any chances pass by them. But a miss from Love You actually has an effect. Cannot get the hit though, and Cyanide capitalizes. Rare misses from Love You, as you see him miss the touch on the wall and miss the save.
Yeah, it looks like just Cabbage, he ends up leaving it for his teammate, but then he sees his teammate's not ready, and then he's just going to be a free net there for Cyanide. Great job, though, from Cyanide to be there, managing to conquer that mistake that the Cabbage ended up leaving for them. But now, minute left on the clock, Team Green still fighting back. They do not want to go to that Game 5, especially if they have 0 series wins on the board.
Oh, that game 5 would be it. The nerves there would definitely come out. It's Clarky tries to go for a shot on net, cannot get it though. And Cyanide actually gets beat. He actually beats the player, trying to force this ball towards midfield, gets a pinch out, and Clarky doesn't expect it, but he is saved by Itsuki, who drives the ball downfield with the air dribble, tries to get another hit, but cannot. And now, another hit from Itsuki, trying to just delay time, just playing around, just avoiding the ball, so they cannot have any chances in Love You now, trying to go for flip. Actually gets the double flip reset, but cannot do anything with it. And Taz stretches past to King Grand, who goes for a shot. It's like he should have a save here, though. And 30 seconds left. They have to score now.
Pizarro trying to take possession in the corner. He looks for a hit off the backboard. Can he get the double tap? No, but it's going to set up King Crane, who puts the ball right in the back of the net. And with 25 seconds left, we got a tied game.
I ask, and he delivers. King Gran, the impact player for this team, to substitute with the goal to push them, hopefully in an overtime. But we still got 25 seconds left, so we'll see if a miracle goal can send them for the first win, or maybe send us to overtime. Or send us to Game 5, sorry.
Can we see Team Green do it? Can Team Green get their first series win? Everybody in chat, this is where you guys got to get up, get loud, cheer for whatever team you guys want to win. Will Team Blue go to the bottom of the standings, or will Team Green get their first series win? But the ball's going to get launched on the field. It's off the post. Cesaro will put it away, and Cyanide will help him out. That was such a close play there from Team Green. Cesaro, though, launches the ball down the field. It's over to Itsuki. Itsuki tries to put it into the corner. Cesaro ends up getting bumped by Cabbage. Cabbage looking for a hit across the entire field, but King Cran manages to get the read on him. King Cran keeps the ball up in the corner. Is Clarky going to drop it? He does, and we have overtime.
And this overtime is it's a decider for these teams. See if Team Green get their first win, which would be so rewarding for them after they worked so hard and almost an own goal, but a pass to Love You, who gets 50'd out by Cesaro. Ball is popped up into the air. It's like he cannot get a hit, but neither can Cyanide, and the ball will bounce again, and Love You trying to clear the ball out, gets the pinch out, but it's read by King Cran, who just dunks him so hard, but now a pass to Love You. See if he can get the hit, but he cannot get the hit, and Cyanide passes up to Cesaro. The passing plays, the 1-2s to carry it out for this team. It's insane, and Team Green really wants this win.
Ball is going to be taken over here by Clarky. Clarky ends up getting read by King Cran. King Cran, right now, he's been doing really amazing on the early challenges. He's been the one who's been really stopping Cabbage to do his mechanical plays. Every single time Cabbage gets the ball, it's been King Cran meeting him at the ball. Ball's going to bounce out into the midfield here. Here comes Cabbage, but King Cran, again, the one to meet it. Ball's bouncing shockingly in front of the net, but Cesaro will pinch it out. It's going to be over to Clarky. Clarky taking possession, now going up the side wall. Zero boost, passes it mid to Cabbage, and it's going to go in. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a Game 5.
And a passing play, that's what it took for this team to finally win. Clarky passes that towards mid, and Love You actually pre-flips into that to get more speed onto the ball. Maybe not expected by the defenders, but now we have Game 5, which not expected, but it was deserved by both these teams.
Both these teams are at the bottom of the standings, but they're still showing